Autumn 2009. In the world-famous Tokyo Game Show, the 2010 release of Gran Turismo 5 was announced. GT5, the 10th product in the series, has evolved into a title in which cars can be enjoyed in a wider variety and depth than ever before.
ダメージのシステムであったり、あるいはコースの中に車と相互干渉して動くような可動オブジェクトを配置したりと、おそらくステアリングを握って10メートル15メートルと走っただけでその違いが体感できるようになっていると思いますので、ぜひ皆さん体感していってください。新しい PS3 のハードウェアの性能に合わせて大きく表現が進化しています。このあたりもですね、楽しみにしていただければいいかなというふうに思います。
January of the new year at the Tokyo Auto Salon, Kazunori Yamauchi announced his intent to compete on the Nürburgring circuit, setting the objectives for GT5 to new heights.
去年、ちょっと思わぬ理由でレースデビューしちゃったんですね。ある日、ニュルブルクリンクのレースに出ませんかという電話がかかってきて、でつい、ユルだったら出るって言っちゃったんです。グランツーリスモというタイトルは、単にウェルメイドでよくできているっていうだけではやっぱりダメだと思ってるんですね。実際はですね、作ってる間に、僕らの中でここまではやりきらないとグランツーリスモにならないだろうという目標というのは見えてきてしまうものなんですね。
On the show floor was announced a new system that takes the record of a GPS-equipped race car and recreates the real-life lap virtually within Gran Turismo. A car was being constructed at a garage on the outskirts of the Nürburgring. The Lexus ISF race car is based on the 5-liter V8 left-hand drive commercial model. By reducing its weight, installing a roll cage, and adding a Toyota F1 rear wing, the car was being prepped for the Nürburgring. Undergoing multiple tests, the car steadily evolved to become the thoroughbred that would fight on the Nürburgring. The machine settings, determined through trial and error, are much different from the process involved in Gran Turismo. While slightly intimidated at first, Kazunori Yamauchi gradually begins to feel the addictiveness of the sport. Their World Car Awards team was established through the collaboration between Toyota Europe and the famous world-class organization of automotive critics. Its chief mechanic is Norbert Krimmer of Toyota Europe. And serving as team director, as well as chief engineer, is Junichi Mitsuhashi, also of Toyota Europe. Kazunori had intentionally kept a distance from professional racing in the past, but was persuaded by Peter Lyon, also a member of the judging panel for the World Car Awards.
Well, first of all, we got a word from Toyota Europe saying that a car was available. They specially made a car available for us, so we're very happy with that, of course. And then I thought to myself, as co-chairman of the World Car Awards, we have a huge range of jurors around the world who can report on these sort of stories, race stories and drive stories. And I thought, let's get a group of drivers together who are jurors as well. It's not easy to find jurors who are good drivers and who know Nürburgring very well. So it was not an easy job finding that sort of group of people. And I thought about Yamauchi-san because I've known him for quite a while. We have raced together in Japan at Scuba Circuit. He did a very good job. He's a very good racing driver. So I thought I'd offer him a position, a seat. And all I had to say was 2 sentences. We have a team, we have a car. Would you like to race with us in the World Car Awards team? And he said, hang on, wait a minute, which circuit are you talking about? And I said, Nürburgring. He waited about 2 seconds before he said, "Yes, of course."
And the other member...
Well, for me, this opportunity was fantastic for several reasons. First thing, I've always wanted to do the Nürburgring 24 hours because such a legendary circuit, such a legendary race, so many cars, it's like no other race in the world. And the other reason it's great for me is because it's as a journalist, it's a fantastic story to be sharing with Yamauchi-san, to see how he takes his driving in the real world and puts that into the virtual world with the game. And I learned this track like many people on the game, so it's an even more interesting race to be sharing with him, so it's fantastic.
So what does the Nürburgring mean to Kazunori?
やっぱり車好きにとって、あるいはもうドライバーにとってニュルブルクリンクっていうのは言ってみれば登山家にとってのエベレストとかですね、アイガーの北壁とか、そういうものにかなり近い。ニュルブルクリンクというのはそういう場所でありコースであった。そこで初めて僕はじゃあそこにレースに出てみようというふうに思ったんですね。
The Nürburgring circuit surrounds the 11th century Nürburg Castle. The Old North Loop, the Nordschleife, has been the setting for the F1 Grand Prix in the past, and many memorable races have taken place here. With rough road surfaces, extreme elevation changes, narrow track width, and repeating blind corners, it is closer to a winding mountain road than a racing circuit. Known amongst drivers as the Green Hell, it reigns supreme as the most difficult track in the world. The Nürburgring 24-hour endurance race is held every year in the latter half of May on this 25-kilometer racetrack. The participating cars are classified into one of three categories: Division 1, Division 2, or the VLN series. The Group A regulation-based Division 1 is further divided into the SP category for gasoline-powered cars, D for diesel, AT for alternative fuels, and E1XP for experimental cars. They are each further classified into smaller subcategories according to displacement and supercharging. The Lexus ISF, driven by Kazunori, belongs to SP8, as does the Lexus LFA Supercar, Aston Martin, and the Audi R8s. The SP9 class is based on the FIA GT3 regulations and includes potential winners like the Porsche GT3R of the four-time consecutive champion Manthey Racing Team and the Audi R8 LMS. This VW Scirocco runs on natural gas and is classified in the AT class. There is also a class within the E1XP, and the much-talked-about Porsche GT3R Hybrid belongs to the E1XP Hybrid class. Division 2 is based on Group N regulations, and the VLN is a class for the Nürburgring Endurance Racing Series. All first-time drivers of the 24 Hours of Nürburgring must participate in at least 2 races in the Nürburgring Endurance Series. These races are like the preliminary rounds for the 24-hour race, and many of the works machines and drivers take part. The conditions in these races are therefore very similar to the final 24-hour race. Kazunori had driven over 1,000 laps on the virtual Nürburgring within Gran Turismo, but says the real driving surprised him in a way that was completely unexpected.
コースそのものをね走るってことに関しては、事前にグランツーリスモでもちろんこう慣れ親しんだコースですよね、1000ラップ以上も走っていて、だからその通りに走ればきちんと走れるんだってことはまず分かったんですね。 ただやっぱり本物っていうのは圧倒的な迫力を持って自分の体に入ってきますから、そこのズレ、バーチャルな世界とリアルな世界とのズレっていうのを補正するのにちょっと戸惑いましたけれども、そこはねそれほど大きな問題にはならなかったんですね。で僕はね一番びっくりしたのはピットロードからコースに入ってきますね。でニュルブルクリンクの4時間耐久レースというのは、200台以上の車が1周20数キロのコースの中にひしめき合ってるような状態、しかも全部競争してるわけですよね。でコースは、道幅は狭い、でバンピーで、通常のサーキットでは考えられないような高速コーナーがたくさんある。でアップダウンも激しいわけですね。一体じゃあこれ自分がやってることっていうのはこれもうどれほど危ないんだと。そうだからそこで僕は自分が知っていたこれまでの社会から一歩外に出てしまったんだってことをねすごく感じて、それがね実は一番のショックでしたね。
もうすげえ焦ったよ。ポロって取れちゃって、でも走るしかないなと思って。落ちたの？ソフトだから問題ないんだけど、ガーって下って上がってくるので。
Along with Kazunori's Nürburgring project, the development of Gran Turismo had reached a climax. Just how much of the various sensations that Kazunori learned from the Nürburgring would they be able to recreate in the game? The challenges brought from the Nürburgring were relayed to the engineers, and through trial and error, started to take shape.
そうですね、実際に僕が、ニルを走ってて、特にレーシングカーで走ってる時は顕著ですけれども、とにかく体揺すられるわけですよ。特に上下に揺すられる感じっていうのはすごくて、ああいった感覚をゲームにちゃんと表現できないかなとか、やっぱりこれまでは知識は知識でしかなかったものが実際の体験も踏まえて、本当に大事なものは何なのかとか、あるいは、5つある要素のうちどれが一番大事なのかとか、あるいはその順番はどういう順番なのかとか、そういうことが分かったのは確実にゲームにもフィードバックできると思うので、そこは大きかったと思いますね。今回僕らが収録しているニュルブルクリンクのコースというのは、僕自身が実際にニュル村の住人になって、あるいはニュルブルクリンクファミリーの一員になって、作ったものですからね。これは多分その中身をどれほど理解しているのかということにかけてはものすごく自信があるので、ちょっとそのあたりはね楽しみにしててほしいなというふうに思いますね。
プレイステーション